In the center of the galaxy, a great meeting was taking place. Inside the High Council chamber, leaders of many alien species sat around a glowing blue table. Their ships floated just outside in silent formation. The war against the Dark Swarm was not going well. Every day, more planets fell. Fear was growing. Strategies were discussed, voices were raised, and everyone spoke, except one. In the far corner of the room sat a human. His name was Commander Rook. He didn't talk much. In fact, most council members didn't even notice him. Humans were new to the galaxy, and many thought they were weak, too emotional, or simply unimportant. Rook just sat quietly, his eyes sharp and calm, as he listened to every word. The Varnak leader slammed his clawed hand on the table. "We must send the fleet now, before the swarm reaches Sector 9. A tall, silver-skinned alien known as the Uran Counselor replied, "Our last fleet was destroyed. We need more information before we move." There was shouting, accusations, plans thrown back and forth like broken glass. Rook remained silent. Suddenly, a beep echoed in the room. A council assistant rushed in. His eyes were wide. Message from Scout Ship 427. It's gone. The entire fleet vanished. Silence fell. "What do you mean, vanished?" The Varnak leader growled. "No debris, no distress signals. 1 second they were there, next second, gone. Near the human border." All eyes turned toward Rook. He looked back at them with no emotion. "Commander Rook," the Uran Counselor said carefully, "do you know anything about this?" Rook stood slowly. "No," he said, "but you should be careful where you send your fleets." And with that, he sat down again. Confusion filled the room. Some thought it was a warning, some thought it was a threat, but most believed it was just a strange human trying to act important. After all, the humans had only been in the galaxy for 30 years. Their ships were old, their tech was behind. How could they have done anything? Behind closed doors, a few council members began asking quiet questions. One of them was Lady Shira of the Lothari, a race known for their deep memory and quiet wisdom. That night, she asked her assistant, "How much do we really know about Earth?" Her assistant blinked. "Not much, my lady. They share little." "Strange," she said softly. "They watch, they listen, but they never speak first." Meanwhile, on a hidden base near the human border, Commander Rook stood alone in a dark control room. A screen showed the place where the enemy fleet had disappeared. There were no lights, no signals, no signs of life. Just silence. A quiet voice behind him said, "They won't believe us." Rook turned to see Captain Lin, another human officer. "They don't need to believe," Rook replied. "They only need to see." Back in the council chamber, a new debate had started. The fleet loss was blamed on a black hole or some strange natural field. Some suggested the enemy was using new weapons. No one, not even once, seriously believed the humans had done it. The next day, another enemy fleet moved closer to the same area, and again, they vanished. No fight, no noise, no ships returning, just gone. This time, the council began to worry. 2 fleets didn't just disappear. Something was out there, something no one understood. They sent probe ships. Only one came back with no data, just static. The council met again. Eyes now turned toward Rook more often. But he didn't speak. He never offered ideas. He never shared strategies. He just sat, like before, silent and calm. It made them nervous. The shadows of their minds, fear started to grow. Who were these humans, really? What were they hiding? And why did their silent commander never seem afraid? One council member whispered to another, "Perhaps we made a mistake. Perhaps we overlooked something." Back on Earth, deep underground, a room full of monitors glowed softly. Unknown symbols moved across the screens. A voice echoed through the chamber. "Stage 1 complete. Observation successful. Awaiting next move." Far above, in the stars, the silent human watched and waited. The galaxy did not yet understand, but soon They would. The room was tense. The Galactic Council had gathered once again, but this time the mood was different. Fear hung in the air like smoke. 2 enemy fleets were gone. Just like that, disappeared near human territory. There were no battles, no wreckage, just silence. Too much silence. Commander Rook sat in his usual place, quiet, still, watching. The Uran counselor leaned forward. Commander Rook, we ask again. You know what happened to those fleets? Rook looked up, his eyes calm but sharp. They came too close. I told you to be careful. But that's not an answer, shouted the Varnak leader. Are you threatening us? I'm warning you, Rook said. The enemy has changed, and you are not ready. The room went silent again. His voice was low, but his words hit hard. For the first time, the council didn't laugh at him. For the first time, they truly listened. But not everyone believed him. Later that day, in a private chamber, 3 council members met in secret. The human is hiding something, one said. He speaks like he knows more than he should. Maybe he's working with the enemy. They all nodded. Their plan was simple. Send a hidden spy ship into human space. Quiet. Fast. It would gather real data, real proof. The ship launched hours later. Inside, it was the best cloaking tech the council had. It was small, fast, invisible. It entered human space unnoticed and began to record. For the first hour, it saw nothing but quiet planets, slow ships, and peaceful stations. Then, it reached a zone marked restricted on human maps. The moment it crossed that line, something strange happened. The ship's systems froze. Time felt slower. The stars outside blinked, then vanished. One blurry image was captured before everything shut down. A dark human ship, shaped like a spear, hovering without engines. It didn't glow. It didn't move. It simply existed. And then the feed cut off. When the council reviewed the image, the room fell cold. What is that? Someone whispered. It's not in any records, another said. Rook said nothing. He just stood at the edge of the room, watching. After the meeting, Lady Zira found him alone. Commander, she said softly, you gave a warning. We ignored it. Please tell me what's going on. Rook looked at her. For a moment, there was sadness in his eyes. You think this is about power, he said. About weapons. It's not. Then what is it about? It's about memory, Rook said. You forgot what war really is. We didn't. He walked away, leaving her speechless. That night, another enemy fleet moved near the edge of human space. This one was bigger, stronger. They believed if they entered in force, they would find the truth. They never made it. No messages, no signals, just like before. Gone. The council was now in full panic. This is impossible, someone shouted. Nothing. Leaves no trace. What are the humans doing? The room exploded with voices, but Rook remained silent. He didn't need to speak. The message was already clear. The next day, the council requested a full report from Earth. The humans replied with a single message. We are watching. We are ready. Do not come closer. That was all. No long speeches, no threats. Just that. Some on the council still believed the humans were bluffing, that they had found some strange natural force and were pretending it was their doing. But others, quietly, began to worry. One by one, whispers spread across the stars. Maybe the humans are stronger than we thought. Maybe they know something we don't. Maybe we should have listened. In a deep chamber far from Earth, Commander Rook stood before a black wall. It was covered in names. Human names. Soldiers. Scientists. Families. They were the lost. Touched one name and closed his eyes. They started this war, he whispered. We will end it. Our way. Behind him, a voice spoke from the shadows. Stage 2? Rook nodded. Let them come again. Let them learn. In the stars above, enemy ships gathered once more, and the silent human waited. The galaxy still didn't understand. But the lesson was coming. A dark room filled with alien leaders glowed with blue light. The council had called another emergency meeting. 3 fleets had vanished. No survivors, no signals, no wreckage, just empty space. At the center of the room, a large screen blinked to life. A shaky video played. The council watched in silence. The footage came from the spy drone sent into human space. For the first minute, everything looked normal. Stars, silence, and then something strange. A ship appeared, but it didn't look like any known design. It was black, long, with no lights, no engines, no visible movement, and yet it moved. The video zoomed in. The ship's surface was covered in symbols, sharp and ancient. It hovered silently in space. Then one by one, enemy ships nearby started to vanish. No flashes, no sound, no beams. Just gone. Then the drone died. The screen went black. No one spoke. Finally, the Varnak leader stood. His voice was shaking. That ship? Was it human? The Uran counselor nodded. We believe so. There was no record of it in our databases, but it carried human codes. Then how did they build such a thing? Someone asked. Their technology is decades behind. The room turned to Commander Rook. He sat, calm, as always. We built it in silence, he said, because war taught us to listen. A few council members demanded answers. What was the weapon? How did it work? Where did it come from? Rook gave no answers. You never asked us what we lost, he said simply. You were too busy looking down. They wanted more. They wanted details. But Rook stood and walked out, leaving the room full of whispers and doubt. Later that day, a secret council meeting was held. Only 5 members attended. They believed humans were hiding a new weapon, something powerful, something dangerous. We must prepare for war, one said. Another shook his head. No, we must make peace. We can't make peace if we don't understand what we're facing. To get answers, they sent a second spy drone. This time it carried deep scan tech. It flew close to the zone where the human ship had last been seen. It went quiet after just 2 minutes. Then, suddenly, it sent back 1 frame of video before shutting down. It showed a human station, but not like the others. This one floated in a strange energy field. Around it were dozens of black ships, just like the one from before. They looked like shadows, perfectly still, perfectly silent, no heat, no signals, but alive. At the center of the station stood a single figure, Commander Rook. He looked straight at the camera. Then it died. When the image was shown in the council room, many council members stepped back in fear. He knew we were watching, someone whispered. Impossible, said another. That drone was cloaked. No signal. No light. No heat signature. Yet he saw it. The Uran counselor closed her eyes. What if we are not the hunters anymore? In a small chamber, Lady Sira sat with a few trusted advisors. She played the image of Rook over and over. There is more to this human than we thought, she said. What should we do? We watch. We wait. And we remember what we forgot. Humans may be quiet, but silence is not weakness. Elsewhere, in deep space, Rook stood aboard the silent station. Around him, the black ships waited. Captain Lin entered. They're scared now, Rook nodded. Good, let them be. The more they watch, the more they fear. Stage 3? Not yet. One more warning. The station sent out a silent signal. No words, just coordinates. It was an invitation or a trap. The council received the signal. It pointed to a planet on the edge of human space, empty, unclaimed. They called it neutral ground. A small council team was sent there. They found nothing. No soldiers, no weapons, just one thing. A single human drone. On it was a message. You fear our silence. You should fear what made us silent. No one understood what it meant, but they felt it, and far above, the black ships waited, still, cold, watching. The humans had spoken again, not with noise, but with shadows, and the galaxy listened. The galaxy was no longer calm. News of the human. Ships had spread across every system. The video of the black spear-shaped vessel, destroying fleets without firing a single shot, was being played in secret meetings, in military war rooms, and even in the halls of powerful empires. Fear was growing. Still, some council members didn't believe it. "This is just fear magic," said one commander. "It's a trick. Maybe the humans found some old tech, or maybe the enemy is helping them." Others were not so sure. A fourth enemy fleet was now moving near human space. This time, they did not go quietly. They announced their presence to the whole galaxy. They wanted to prove they were not afraid. Their leader, a proud warrior from the Garish Empire, spoke into a live broadcast. "We will show the truth. We will enter human space, and we will return. These humans hide in the dark. We are not scared of shadows." Millions watched as the enemy ships moved forward. Then, nothing, just like the others. Live cameras from faraway ships recorded the moment. 1 second, the enemy fleet was there. The next, it was gone. No fire, no battle, no escape. Only space remained. The broadcast ended in silence. The galaxy was stunned. Billions had just seen a full fleet disappear in real time. No one could explain how it happened. No one had seen a weapon. No one had even seen the humans move. The silence was louder than ever before. The Galactic Council met that same day. Panic had replaced arrogance. They must be using some kind of space-folding weapon. No, that would leave signs. Then, what? What is this power? The Uran counselor looked around the room and said softly, "It's not the power we should fear. It's the patience." All eyes turned to Commander Rook. He was standing now, calm as always. "The fleets you sent. They were warned," he said. "You didn't answer us," one shouted. "You didn't explain." "I gave you silence," Rook said, "because you weren't ready to listen." The room fell quiet. Then, for the first time, Rook walked to the center of the chamber. "You think this is a war?" he said. "It's not. It's a memory. One you forgot. One we did not." "What do you mean?" Lady Sierra asked. Rook looked at her. "Your enemy now is the one that destroyed Earth a long time ago, before we joined your council, before we rebuilt." Whispers filled the room. "I thought Earth was peaceful," someone said. "We are," Rook replied. "But peace came at a cost, a deep cost. We didn't just rebuild cities, we rebuilt something else." He stepped back. "And we did it in silence." Later that night, across many planets, alien citizens asked questions their leaders could not answer. Who really were the humans? What had happened to Earth before? And what was the weapon that made fleets disappear? On a small planet near the outer rim, an old Lothari scholar found a forgotten file. It was from over 100 years ago, a report from a patrol ship near Sol system. The file was marked, "Hostile contact, dark swarm, Earth destroyed." But the file was closed. The report ignored. The council had forgotten it. The humans had not. Meanwhile, on a hidden space station, Commander Rook stood before a long screen. It showed the movement of ships, messages, fear. Behind him, Captain Lin entered. "They're talking now," she said. "They're guessing," Rook replied. "They still don't understand." "Should we tell them?" "Not yet. Let them feel it." Stage 4, Rook looked at the screen. Almost. Back in the council chamber, some members now demanded peace talks with Earth. Others said it was too late. A few wanted to attack before the humans got stronger. Lady Zira stood before them. "If you attack," she said, "you will not find ships. You will not find armies. You will only find silence. And silence," she added, "is where the humans are strongest." Outside, among the stars, the dark ships waited. Still, cold, watching. The enemy was now afraid, but they still didn't understand the full truth. They would soon. The galaxy had never been this quiet. Fleets kept vanishing. Commanders stopped volunteering for missions near human space. Entire star systems held their breath. It was no longer just fear. It was something deeper. It was respect. And it came from silence. In the Galactic Council, leaders argued every day. Some wanted peace. Others wanted war. A few wanted to surrender before anything worse happened. But no one could agree on what the humans had done. One thing was certain. Something powerful was protecting Earth. Something invisible and unstoppable. Commander Rook had become the center of attention. The Council had once ignored him, mocked him, even feared him. Now they watched him with curiosity and caution. He still said very little, but when he did, every word felt like a warning. At the next council meeting, Lady Syrah stood beside him. "We need answers," she said calmly. "Not fear, not war, just truth." Rook nodded. "The truth is not safe," he said. "We can handle it," she replied. Rook looked around the room. Then for the first time he spoke a full sentence in the council chamber. "You forgot the first war," he said. "The one Earth lost. The one that started everything." Confused whispers filled the room. "What war?" "There is no record," Rook continued. "Over 100 years ago, the Dark Swarm reached Earth. No one helped us. We were not part of the council then. We were alone." He paused. "They destroyed half the planet. Cities turned to ash. Billions died." Shock spread across the room. Even the most powerful species looked pale. "We rebuilt in silence," Rook said. "Not just cities, not just ships, but something more. Something no one expected." "What?" asked the Varnak leader. "A memory," Rook replied. "A memory of pain. And a machine." Gasps followed. "You built a weapon?" someone asked. "No," Rook said. "We built a response." Far from the council, deep inside a hidden moon, a machine hummed. It had no lights, no guns, no soldiers, just silence. It was called Project Echo. Project Echo was not like normal weapons. It didn't destroy with fire or bullets. It erased. It folded space, bent time, and removed threats without a sound. It used fear, confusion, and memory itself to protect what Earth had rebuilt, and it was watching. Commander Rook returned to Earth that night. In a dark command center underground, he stood before Project Echo's main screen. Captain Lin joined him. "They're asking more questions." "They're getting closer," Rook said. "Stage 4? "Not yet. First, we show them what forgetting costs." The next morning, a council science ship entered human space. It had no weapons. It sent peaceful messages. It carried gifts and a simple request: "We want to understand." To the council's surprise, the humans answered. They sent one ship, small, old, harmless looking. But when it arrived, every ship in the science fleet stopped moving. Their systems froze, not by force, but by permission. One by one, the science. Crew saw images on their screens, not from humans, but from their own memories, their past mistakes, their worst regrets, their deepest fears. And then, they saw Earth. Not the Earth from stories, but the real one. Half-burned, black skies, cities under ash, children crying, people dying in silence, with no help coming from the stars. One science officer cried, another fainted. When it ended, the human ship simply left. No message, no words, just silence. The council received the data hours later. No one spoke. Lady Syrah stood again. "They're not attacking us. They're showing us." "Showing us what?" asked someone. "The cost of being blind," she replied. That night, Commander Rook stood alone. He watched the stars, silent as always. Captain Lin came beside him. "They're afraid again." They should be, he said. They finally saw the truth. No, Rook replied. They saw the past. The truth is still coming. She looked at him. Stage 4? He nodded. Begin. In the far edges of the galaxy, something changed. Not an explosion, not a fleet movement, a signal. It came from Earth. Just 3 words. We remember everything. Across Council worlds, people stopped and stared as the message appeared. The galaxy had seen powerful weapons before. It had seen wars, invasions, and great destruction. But it had never seen anything like this. Humans had not fired a single shot. Yet entire fleets had vanished. Commanders had broken down. And now, one message echoed across every star system. We remember everything. The words were simple, but their meaning was deep. Every species in the Galactic Council had once ignored Earth's cries for help. Now they knew that humans had never forgotten, and they had never truly forgiven. Inside the council chamber, silence ruled. Lady Jira stood alone, holding a copy of the signal. Around her, leaders from dozens of alien worlds stared at the message. We have to stop this, said the Varnak leader, before it gets worse. You want to attack again? Lady Sira asked. No, he said, his voice low. I want to beg. Just then, a new report came in. A hidden listening station near the Echo sector had picked up something strange. A large black object had moved past their sensors, fast, silent, and cold. It didn't answer calls, it didn't send warnings, it simply moved through space, heading straight toward the center of the galaxy. That center was where the Council's main station floated, a symbol of peace and unity. If the humans were sending the dark ship there, it could only mean one thing: a message was coming, or a final judgment. Back on Earth, Commander Rook stood in front of Project Echo. The machine pulsed softly. It did not look dangerous. It looked peaceful, like a sleeping giant. Captain Lin entered. The Council is watching. Their people are scared. They should be, Rook said. Should we show them mercy? Rook looked at her. His face was calm, but his eyes were tired. Mercy is what we asked for, long ago. She nodded. So, is this the end? No, he said. This is the choice. In space, the black spear-shaped ship reached the edge of the Council's central system. Hundreds of defense ships waited. They didn't fire. They didn't move. They only watched. The black ship stopped. No attack, no sound, just a soft pulse, one the Council could feel deep in their minds. Then, across every screen, a simple image appeared. Earth, broken and burning. The day of the first attack. The day humanity screamed and no one listened. Under the image, new words formed. You chose silence. We became it. Gasps filled the chamber. Some council members fell to their knees. Others turned away. And then, something unexpected happened. New video appeared. It was old, grainy, from Earth's past. It showed humans helping each other after the attack. Children holding hands. Doctors saving lives in ruined buildings. Scientists building machines underground. Leaders swearing to protect Earth, no matter the cost. This was not a warning. This was a story of pain and strength and silence. Lady, Zira stepped forward. This is not a weapon. This is memory. She turned to the others. The humans are not destroying us. They are showing us what it means to be forgotten, to be left alone in the dark. The council was quiet. Then, one by one, leaders stood, not to fight, not to argue, but to listen. On Earth, the screen lit up. They're responding, said Captain Lin. Commander Rook watched the messages come in. One from the Varnak homeworld, one from the Uran colony, one from the Garesh fleet. All said the same thing. We see you, we hear you, we are sorry. For a long time, Rook said nothing. Then he whispered, Begin Stage 5. In the center of the galaxy, the black ship opened, not in attack, but in invitation. A beam of soft light spread across the council station. Inside it, holograms formed, images of Earth's past, Earth's rebuilding, Earth's message. It was not about power, it was about remembrance. Suddenly, the galaxy saw the truth. The silent human had not wanted revenge. He had wanted understanding, not war, but witness, not fear, but memory. And now, the galaxy remembered for the first time. For real. From that day, the council made new laws. A new seat was created for Earth. The silent human no one noticed became the voice all listened to. The fleets no longer disappeared. They stayed away. By choice, not by fear, because the galaxy had learned one thing. Silence is not weakness. Silence is waiting. And when the humans finally spoke, the stars listened. The galaxy had changed. Once humans were ignored, overlooked, seen as weak, silent, and unimportant. Now the entire galaxy listened when they spoke. The council chambers were different too. A new seat stood at the center, strong, clean, and made of black steel. It had no decorations, no flags, no symbols. Just silence. And it belonged to Earth. Commander Rook walked into the chamber slowly. He wore no armor, no weapons, only a simple dark uniform. The leaders of dozens of worlds stood up as he entered. Even the proudest ones bowed their heads. This time they respected the silence. Lady Zira stood beside him. She smiled slightly. "You changed everything," she said. "No," Rook replied softly. "We reminded them." The council meeting began. A Varnak leader stood up. His voice shook with emotion. "We now ask Earth to lead the new peace fleet. You have proven your strength without war." Rook did not answer right away. He looked around the chamber, remembering how it once was. How they laughed at Earth, ignored Earth, sent fleets toward Earth like hunters chasing prey. But humans had not hunted back. They had waited. And now, that patience had reshaped the stars. Rook spoke clearly. "We accept, but understand this. Earth does not lead with fear. We lead with memory." No one argued. They couldn't. They had seen the power of memory and silence. Far across the galaxy, dark ships slowly returned home. The black spear-shaped vessels no longer needed to hover in the shadows. Their mission was complete. They had protected Earth. They had delivered the message. Now, they would sleep again. Silent watchers in deep space. Project Echo, the strange machine deep under Earth, also shut down. Not because it was broken, but because it was no longer needed. Its message had been heard. Its warning had worked. The galaxy understood now. Humans didn't need to scream to be strong. They didn't need to fight to win. They had already won by surviving. In a quiet school on a green planet, an alien child asked his teacher, "Who was the silent human?" The teacher paused, smiled, and answered, "He was the one they didn't see, until it was too late." The child frowned. "Too late for what?" "Too late to stop the truth," the teacher replied. Back on Earth, Commander Rook stood in the ruins of the old city, the same place the dark swarm had once destroyed. Now, green trees grew where fire had fallen. Birds sang where silence had once ruled. Captain Lin stood beside him. "It's over," she said. "No," Rook replied. "It's just beginning." She looked at him. He pointed to the sky. "We built ships to defend, machines to erase fleets, but the real weapon was our story." Lin nodded. "And now they know it." Rook smiled. It was the first smile he had shown in a long time. "No one will ever overlook a human again," he said. They both stood in silence. Not because they had nothing to say, but because finally, the silence meant peace. And somewhere, far beyond the edge of known space, a final message echoed through the stars. Not in anger, not in fear, but in calm, clear words. We were the silence. You were the storm. And now, we are the stars. The galaxy would never forget again. Not the fleets that disappeared. Not the humans they overlooked. And not the quiet strength that changed everything. The end.